Alrighty, welcome to A Token of Persuasion. Today we'll be playing with Thunderspeaker. Super excited for this game. Colloquially known as Dahan Lady for my group because she works with the Dahan Thunderspeaker. So, anyway, few important things to note with Thunderspeaker is a special rule. Your presence move with Dahan. So you just think of you and the Dahan as one. And the next thing is if Dahan are destroyed by invader ravages specifically, so disease, events, things like that, if they kill the Dahan, this doesn't trigger. But invaders ravaging destroy one presence within range 1 after losing your presence of blight if relevant. So you love Dahan and you hate it when they die. So let's look a little bit at the growth options here. Now Thunderspeaker is a really interesting spirit because they gain powers on the reclaim and they gain 2. So you don't really have to worry too much about extending your reclaim by gaining power cards because your reclaim is gaining power cards. So what I like to do typically is with spirits like this, have a pretty strong first turn by taking 1 presence, and then only playing 1 card, and then having an extra strong second turn by taking the next 2 using this option. So we'll see if that works. I've played Thunderspeaker several times before, but I haven't tried this particular strategy with them before, so we'll see how it goes. Their innate powers, this is just movement, Dahan movement, in the slow, unless you have 4 wind, in which case you can do it fast. And this is building destruction in the slow, if you have Dahan there. So, obviously, everything about the spirit is Dahan centric, and we're just going to go ahead and jump into it. So, first things first, they're going to explore the sands. So, we'll see the sands here. So we do have a Dahan there. I think I'm going to go ahead and grow here. That's 1 away. And then I'm going to gain 4 energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 1 more energy. So that gives me, over the next 2 turns, all these cards cost 6 total. So next turn I'll gain 1 energy. So essentially, I can play 1 card this turn, and next turn play all the cards, and I'll net 0 energy. And that's super good. Unfortunately, the turn following that, I'm only going to have 1 energy, because on reclaim, I'm not going to grow. So that's something to consider. I'll have to probably play this card, and whatever 0 cost minor power I got. So let's look at this. I think I'm going to play this right here. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah. I'm going to play this right here. Cost 2. Gather a Dahan. Each Dahan destroys an Explorer. I'll pop this Explorer off here. And in the slow, I'll work on getting my presence over there with Dahan. And if I can do that... yeah, so I'll be able to gather 1 Dahan per wind I have. I'll have 1 wind, and I'll gather this guy in here. And the next turn, I'll be able to defend using this card. So, let's go ahead and pay, flip, and no event. This is the fast, so I'm going to go ahead and gather. I don't know why this Dahan is flipped. Because I just flipped. Gather 1 Dahan, and I'll come with it, and this guy pops. Okay. So next what we've got is build. So we're going to go ahead and build town. And then they're going to explore the jungle. That's very good. And then slows. And for my slow, I'm going to go ahead and gather this Dahan in here with my innate ability here. So, here we are. Looks like I'm perfectly set up for a defend 3 here. And I'll work on getting Dahan in here for damage. So let's time passes. Next turn, I'm growing these two right here so I can get 2 power card plays. And I'm going to actually put them all with these Dahan. You'll see why in a moment. And I'm going to play all these cards. And I get 1 energy from here. Pay flip. And now we got fast. So this is defend 3 during ravage. Dahan and target land unit simultaneously. So this is defend for 3. And Dahan will deal simultaneously with the invaders. So let's check out what the event is. Event. Explorers have +1 health, so they're still counterattacking for 4, so this explorer will still die. That's good. Each beast generates 1 fear if invaders are present and moves to an adjacent land if not. So these guys are going to move over here to this jungle. And then on each board add a Dahan to an inland land with Dahan. That is what I like to see. That's what I love to see. Okay. Let's add a Dahan to one of these 2 lands. And yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now we ravage in the sands. Nice. That's a fear. Build in the jungle. We'll have to think about this. I might just be able to defend it. And then explore in the mountains. Okay. Exploring in the mountains. So, now let's talk about slows here. So, let's talk about slows. First I'm going to gather up to 1, 2, 3 Dahan. And I'm going to, using my first innate, so I'm going to gather all 3 of these Dahan, and my presence is coming. So I've got 3 presents and 3 Dahan. Nice. So that's that innate done. I could also push, but I actually want them there. Next, I'm going to do Manifestation of Powers and Glory there. So it's the range 0, 1 fear. So I'll just go ahead and do that. 1 fear. And then each Dahan deals damage equal to the number of presents you have in the target land. This card has the ability to do ludicrous amounts of damage. I have personally seen this card do over 150 damage to a single land. Totally overkill, and it was a little bit contrived because we just wanted to see how much damage it could do. But since it's multiplicative, it has an exponential potential. So right now there are 3 Dahan and there are 3 presents, so it's 3 times 3, so it's actually 9 damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. Already overkill, and that does 3 additional fear for killing those buildings. You see, that's just like how ridiculous that is. That's just crazy. Next we've got we actually do have 2 sun and 1 fire, so I'm going to actually pop this town, so that's a fear as well. Now I don't have to worry about that. Destroy 1 town for every 2 Dahan. There's 2 Dahan in this land. And then we've got let's see, this has been done, this has been, this has been done, and both my innates have been done. So now it's only pushing up to 4 invaders, or sorry, 4 Dahan. And I'm going to actually push these 3 Dahan out of this land and bring my presence with it. And you can see the inland lands are starting to get cleared, and I am coming with a vengeance to this. So time passes, and you can just see how powerful that starting turn was, right? So now I'm going to reclaim and gain 2 minor powers. So I get an energy from this right here, and I basically get to play this card, maybe. I mean, this is defend 3, but I don't even need defend 3. So this card, and then hopefully 2 minor powers. So gain a minor. Let's see. Push and explore and fast. That costs 1. I could get rid of this problem altogether. Yeah, I think I can do that. I really need a 0 cost next turn though. 0 cost. Push and explore and fast, prevent this build. And then if I prevent this build, they're not going to explore to any of these lands. They will only explore on the coast. So that's pretty spicy, actually. And then gain another minor power. And I need a 0 cost. 0 cost, defend 5. Don't love this power, but it's alright. So now I get to play this card. And honestly, I don't think I'm going to play any... I might play this card just for the animal. That means I could gather 1 Dahan and slow. If I do that, I could gather a Dahan and slow into here. Yeah. Okay, pay. So here we go. We're just going to go ahead and push this explorer out of here, and that's the fast event. Terra level 1. And lands with Dahan. 1 Dahan, 1 building, do not participate in Ravage. Okay, and each land with beasts, 1 damage per beast. For each board, 1 fear if any Dahan with buildings. Okay. No, that's not the case. So we get a fear card, and lands with any of those tokens, defend 3. Okay, and now they ravage in the jungles and build in the mountains. They skip building and they explore in the wetlands and they skip explore. That is huge. That's huge. I get an entire slow phase. Okay, so now we've got, oh, and this I guess I paid defend 5 here in case they ravaged for some reason due to events, but both these cards are paid. So now the question is, do I want to gather 1 Dahan in? And I think I do. I'm going to gather a Dahan from here in. And yeah, time passes. So I'm going to gain this presence here, and I'm going to gain it here. Yeah, we win in the slow phase because I can just play Manifestations of Power of Glory. I shouldn't have played this card, but I did. It's too late. It's whatever. Okay. Instead, I will... Oh, since I gain 1 presence only, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 energy. So I'm going to play this. 1, 2, 3... Is that good? Yes. Okay. Okay. Flip. So, no, I don't want this card. I don't want this card. I want this card. Sorry. So I get 1 energy back. And this is why. I want this card because, so I have 3 winds, plus 1 wind, so these powers can be fast. And then what happens is I gather 1 Dahan per wind and 1 Dahan per or push, but I only care about the gather. So I'm going to gather 1 with this presence, 1 with this presence, and then this Dahan right here, I guess, right here. There's now 4 Dahan there. And then that's my innate because it's fast. And then I'm going to play this card, which gathers an additional Dahan, and each Dahan destroys an explorer. Explorers. Bam, and now I'm going to defend 3. This is a little bit overkill, but you never know. You never know. Sometimes they do extra damage and stuff. Defend 3, and then this is slow, and this may be fast. I'm going to wait to do it. Basically, I get a free town destroy at range 0. I don't think they're going to add a town, but maybe the event will add a town. Okay. Now we hope that the event doesn't ruin anything. On each board, choose a sacred site, gather an explorer, and add an additional explorer. I choose a sacred site. I can't gather one, but I can add one. So I see, good thing I was defending 3 there. We are in stage... Oh, we're in stage 2, actually. Just kidding. Invaders do +1 damage per ravaging. So they're doing 4 damage. So they're starting damage a Dahan, but not destroy it. On each board, add a disease to jungle or wetland with the most buildings. To the jungle or wetland, minimum 1. Okay. On each board, remove 1 blight from land with 2 Dahan. Okay, it doesn't matter. And now they ravage in the mountains. 1 Dahan takes 1 damage, and that's game. So super, super powerful spirit. You can see that I did 9 damage with this power in like the 2nd turn or something like that. Didn't take a single blight. Let's check out the score. 32. I think 33 was the best game that I've had so far doing just these base games. Again, you can score like when you're playing level 6 adversaries, you're scoring in like the 60s or something like that, because the difficult adversary difficulty really ramps up the score essentially. But still, 32 is a really good score for really low difficulties. And not only was it 32, it was a Terra level 1 victory. There's not a single thing on the board. Not a single thing. That's incredible. Incredible. So very strong spirit. Really love playing with Thunderspeaker. You can just do ludicrous funny things with this. Like you see 6 presence and 5 Dahan in 1 land. I mean, that does 30 damage now. Manifestations of Power and Glory. That's a 3 cost, 30 damage. There's a Volcano card, Major Power, that costs 8 and it does 20 damage and adds a blight. Right? 2/3 the amount of damage, and it adds a blight, and it destroys the Dahan. It's just like, this is, I think, one of the best like starting cards in the game in terms of just damage potential, because you can just this compounds, and suddenly you're just doing ludicrous amounts of damage. So anyway, good game with Thunderspeaker. Next up, we got Spread a Rampant Green, the most broken spirit in the game. Super fun to play. Not as fun solo. They're more fun playing with other spirits, but there's still some fun things you can do with Spread when you're playing solo, and you'll get a chance to see that in the next video. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time on A Token of Persuasion.